All right. Welcome to Columbus. I guess my first question is when you think of the Blue Jackets organization from an outside perspective, what was always your thought about the CBJ?
Um, that's a good question. Honestly, I didn't know much about Columbus or the team or whatnot. You know, uh, the only instances I can think of is playing there my rookie year, and it was an unbelievable experience. Just with the atmosphere and the cannon, and it's just exciting. Like there's a lot of excitement and it's rowdy and it seems like a great place to play. And everything that I've heard of so far from Dave Savard and buddies who went to Ohio State, they've all had fantastic things to say about the area and Columbus and the organization, and so definitely really excited about it all.
So when you hear all that, what makes Columbus the right place for you and how excited are you to be here?
I'm really excited. I was a little surprised yesterday when I got the call that I was going to be traded. But it seems like, again, from what I've heard, like it seems like a great group, and locker room and environment, and I haven't played with a lot of the guys, but I played with Sean Monahan and I've played with Goudreau and some summer stuff and some of the other young guys I have mutual connections with, and it just seems like a hungry group, and a young team and a team that's trying to prove himself. And that falls in line with exactly where I kind of am in my career. Like I've played a couple of years, but I still feel like I have a lot more to give. Um, and I'm definitely hungry, to prove that and show that. So, and new management, new coach. So, there's a lot of, exciting pieces there.
Thanks.
Thank
Next, we'll
you.
go to Jeff Svoboda with the Blue Jackets website. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Jordan, for taking the time to do this. You kind of segued into the question I wanted to ask, which is now that you've played 2+ seasons in the NHL, usually those early years are a chance to kind of get your feet wet, understand the game and things like that. Where do you think now you can maybe take the next steps in your game? And how excited are you to apply what you've learned these first couple of years to your game?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the first couple of years, like you think of starting to play professional hockey and you think of just the hockey aspect, right? And there's so much more that goes into it. It's a travel, coming from college. I was now playing double the games I played in college. There's, you know, the social aspect's a little different. Guys are older. Not everyone lives with each other in dorms. Like everyone has families or lives in apartments, except for maybe the very young guys. But it's different and it's adjustment. I think now that I have a better feeling and understanding of how things go, and I have some games under my belt, I really feel like um, the next step in what I want to do is, showcase, what I work on the summer, what I can do as a player. I think as a defenseman, I'm not the biggest defenseman, but there's a lot of tools I can use to defend hard and join the rush. I think there's some offensive stuff I want to continue to add in my game while not taking away from, my strengths as a defender. So there's a lot of, good stuff, and I definitely feel like there's more that I can give, and I'm excited to show it, and have been working on.
Nice. And you mentioned there maybe some friends that have gone to Ohio State. I don't know if it's players that played hockey at OSU or just some other people. I know you're from, Massachusetts, so maybe you know some people around, but just, maybe who are some of those people, and have they kind of told you just what the community is like when you getting here?
Yeah. So it's starting to become like a funny connection from Massachusetts hockey players to go to Ohio State. Like, a kid I played with at Northeastern, Gunnar Wolf Fontaine, just transferred there. Jake Wise, who just finished up there last year,
Yeah.
played at BU and then transferred there. I skated with Mason Lowride today, who played there. I work out with Kayla Barnes, women's hockey player, played there last year. So there's a lot of people, more than you would think, from the Massachusetts hockey community. Riley Hughes, Ken Hughes' son, just finished up there. So, it is a good group of people who have been in Columbus, and they all have tremendous reviews. Like everyone I've talked to are like, you're gonna love it there, and really enjoy their time there. So it's pretty cool to hear that, and like you said, to see that connection kind of grow.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Next, we'll go to Brian Hedger from the Columbus Dispatch. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, Jordan, welcome to Columbus. It's good to have you here. Um, Question for you it's only been 24 hours, obviously, since the trade. Have you had a chance yet, though, to kind of dig into the depth chart here a little bit, just to kind of see, maybe what kind of competition you're going to have for roster spot here, in training camp?
Yeah, a little bit. I was kind of familiar with the team, um, ahead of the trade, but definitely looked to see what the group looked like a little more in depth yesterday, and I'm excited. There's a lot of great pieces. There's a lot of really exciting talent. And like I said earlier, it seems like a hungry group. Like there's a lot of younger guys, but also a lot of veterans who have played and been around. So, um, in terms of like the competition aspect, you know, I find competition is healthy, right? And you get to this level, and there's always going to be competition, no matter where you play, especially as you get through college and professional. So, I'm excited about that. I try not to, or I don't really see it. Um, in terms of like, oh, we're going to be battling for spots. I'm going to be battling with this guy. It's more so, what can I do, to play my game and play my strengths. And that's all you can really control at the end of the day, right? And
Sure.
control what you can do. And so that's more so where my head is bad instead. My head has been at, instead of thinking about, where possible, competition could lie.
I gotcha. Two quick ones here. One was we were talking to Don Waddell yesterday, and he was saying that you may have spent some time on the right side last year. Is that right? And that you're a left shot. So are you comfortable kind of flipping over between the two sides?
Yeah, definitely. I played on the right side my first year of college. I played on the right side, World Juniors. I played on the right side, uh, and off and on in college, but my past couple years I played left in college. And then pro, I've played a lot on the right side, especially last year. So I've gotten pretty comfortable on that side, and it definitely takes some work. Like there's some differences there, but I've gotten, a lot more comfortable with it over the years, and I'd be happy to play either side.
Yeah. Last one for me is what did you learn from David Savard? Just in general, or I mean, I know he probably talked to you about Columbus a little bit, but just in general, being his teammate, what'd you learn from Savvy?
A lot. And Savvy brings so many good things to wherever he's at. I mean, I could talk about this guy all day. Like, I mean, I learned that he's incredible at blocking shots, that's for sure. I think everyone in the building can see that. The guy, it's a skill, honestly, how he can block so many shots. Um, but just how to carry yourself, like he keeps it light every day, but he comes to work incredibly consistent. A guy that any team in the NHL would be lucky to have in their locker room. And I mean, I'd say the main thing I took away was just how you can get stuff done and work hard, but also enjoy doing it at the same time. And that's savvy. And I think that's the definition of him is he brings so much light and happiness and joy to wherever he's at. But he's the ultimate competitor. Like he snapped a few times in Montreal, and I was we're all on the bench. We'd be like, uh-oh, Savvy's going full dad mode now, and he'd be freaking out the refs and stuff. And he has that competitive spirit in him, but he's super lighthearted and a special teammate. So really fortunate to be able to have been able to play with him.
All right. Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll go to Whitney Harding with NBC4. Go ahead, Whitney.
Hey, Jordan, welcome to Columbus.
Thank you very much.
You talked about the new staff here. I mean, it's kind of a renewed energy around this place. And one of the things is the stadium game that's coming up. Are you excited? Have you thought about that at all? Are you excited to play in that game for the first time, I think, for you?
Yeah. So I found out, I wasn't aware of it before. I found out yesterday. And just the thought of it's, I mean, amazing. I couldn't even imagine that playing in front of, what is it, 100,000 people?
Yeah, give or take.
Give or take, yeah. I mean, that doesn't come around very often, and I think it's great what they're doing for the sport, right? Like, I think it's great to showcase what the Blue Jackets are about, and I feel like it's a big football town, but I mean, to have that draw and have that excitement, for the sport of hockey is massive. Yeah.
You also said that you're hungry, and you feel like this fan base is hungry. What exactly are you personally hungry for? Whether it comes to your game or achievements, what drives you?
A lot. I mean, I think I'm the sort of person that, like, I always think there's more. Like, I always think I can give more as a player, as a person. But I think that I have definitely more to give as a player. Um, and I know the strengths of my games, I know my abilities, and I really feel like there's a lot more to give, and I feel like that ties in well to the team. Like the team's hungry, the fan base is hungry. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of young guys that are just beginning their careers, or like Sean Monahan, for example. Like I feel like his game like when he came to Montreal was renewed, and into Winnipeg, and he's playing great hockey, and he played great hockey for us, and so happy for him to see the deal that he's gone and how he played in Winnipeg. And I feel like he's hungry, to get back to how he felt when he was feeling good as a hockey player. And I feel like there's a lot of that coming for me, I mean, for the players in Columbus. And I feel like I just know I want to give everything I can to continue to grow as a player and a teammate, and very happy to continue that in Columbus.
Thanks so much. Look forward to meeting you in person.
Thank you. You as well.
Okay, next we'll go to Mark Scheib from the Hockey Writers. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Glenn. Hi, Jordan. Welcome to Columbus. You already mentioned that you were surprised about the trade, but how did you find out that the trade was happening?
So we got a place here in Massachusetts in the summer, me and my girlfriend, and so I was on my way to Home Goods actually to pick up a table that we bought yesterday, in my mom's SUV, and I got the call on the way there, from Kent. And we chatted for probably a good 5-10 minutes, just about everything, and then he said the trade call would be incoming. He said you never know about trade calls, like sometimes they fall through, but he said the plan is you'll be traded to Columbus in the Line A deal. So that's what I found out, and then went in, got the table, came out, and Don gave me a call, and so chatted with him for a bit. So it's definitely a busy day. I was on the phone a lot after that for the rest of the day, but yeah, it definitely was not what I was expecting going into Home Goods.
Right. And one more from me is, do you remember that you actually scored your second career goal at Nationwide Arena? Do you remember that goal at all?
I do, yeah. Yeah, coming down the left-hand side, little pull, went far side high.
Yeah, now the cannon's on your side, right?
Yeah, the Canada, it definitely feels better to be on our side now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jordan.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll go to Ian Phillips from Ohio Hockey Digest.
Hey, Jordan, welcome to Columbus. Look forward to meeting you in person. But I just want to ask, I know you were involved in the Player Inclusion Coalition. And can you just describe some of your experiences with that? And I know it's been only 24 hours, but do you plan to continue doing stuff like that in Columbus when you get here?
Yeah, definitely, and looking forward to meeting you as well. And I've been really happy in how I've been able to impact the community around Montreal, and join the Player Inclusion Coalition, and just all the relationships that I've made over the past couple of years. Like we went to the draft this year in Vegas for our coalition. It's like the yearly retreat that they do at the draft, and you get to meet all these people and do some community work, and that's exactly what I would love to do in Columbus. Like I always think that hockey is a beautiful sport, and I'm incredibly lucky to be able to play hockey every single day. But life is more than just hockey. It's about how you impact the people. It's about what you can do for your community, uplift it, and really looking forward to helping out however I can in Columbus. Honestly, it's something that we're very passionate about, and definitely want to continue it for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll go to Aaron Portzline with The Athletic. Go ahead, Aaron.
Thank you, Glenn. Hey, Jordan, we spoke briefly yesterday. I wanted to ask you, it's been 24 hours now. Have you had a chance to speak with Coach Evison?
No, I've not spoken with him yet. I've spoken with a couple like members of the team. I spoke to Don, spoke to Trevor Timmons, but I haven't spoken with Coach yet.
Yeah, I was just curious if you have any anticipation of what style of play the Blue Jackets may adopt under Evison and how you may fit into that. Do you feel like you've defined yourself as a player yet in the NHL, or is that still coming?
I feel like I've laid a pretty good foundation in what I can do, but I feel like I still have a lot more to give and a lot more I know I can do. So
Yeah.
I think I've definitely laid a couple good, foundation blocks to build off of, but I wouldn't say I've, defined myself completely as a player.
And that table, do you just keep it in the box and bring it to Columbus with you, or did you unpack it and put it together?
Um, so it was built, and it's for our place here in Massachusetts.
Permanent
So
place, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why I was in my mom's car because she has some extra space. So
Gotcha.
threw it in the back, and it's at the house I grew up at right now.
Gotcha. Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go back to Jeff Svoboda. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thanks, Glenn. I just want to ask you this real quick. I was looking at elite prospects, and sometimes that's not totally true. But it said that your dad was a goalie and your brother was a goalie. I was just wondering if that's the case and if that made it pretty easy for you to get some shots in when you were a kid.
Yeah, that's very true. And it was huge because that means we automatically always had a goalie. And my dad claims if he still suited up to this day that he could save over half of the shots I took. And I'm like, man, like realistically, you'd probably pull every muscle in your body if you strapped on the pads now after not playing for 20 years. Um, but yeah, they're both goalies. I wanted to be a goalie, and my dad didn't let that happen. So I guess it worked out pretty well.
Very nice. So a hockey family.
Hockey family, yeah. My dad played at UMass Lowell. Was drafted to the Islanders as a goalie, and my brother, he just finished up a couple of years ago. He played Division III in Massachusetts.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any more questions for Jordan? Okay, we'll go back to Mark Scheig. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you. I do have one more for you. Just when you think back to your time in Montreal now, Jordan, what's going to be the most prevailing memory that you're going to carry with you when you think of them?
Probably just honestly just starting out my playing career there in those first few games and just being drafted there and coming up throughout my college year and in anticipation of playing in the NHL. I feel like that really sticks out for sure because it is a special place. It'll always hold a special place in my heart and honestly just the relationships that you build. Like there's so many great people in the hockey community, and when you're around them all day for 2 years straight, you build a lot of great relationships. So just the people that I've met, and then I'll continue to have relationships with, right? Like so that really sticks out to me. I mean, hockey's great, and playing the Bell Center was really cool, and but I feel like it's more so the people that you meet that really stick with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.